Hello, welcome to Daily Devotions. Let me ask you a question. Let's say that you want to be positive today. Let's suppose that you want to have a positive attitude today. Let's imagine that you decide to be totally positive today. But then you start to have problems and difficulties, complaints, and you hear negative things here, there. What do? Those things affect you. Those things are going to change you because some people disagree with you or some people have views about this or that. Are you going to let those things change what you want to have here in your mind, what you want to feel in your heart? Are you going to let that happen? Imagine you decide this day to have a good diet. Let's suppose that you want to eat healthy today. And then somebody is offering you something fried here, some ice cream here, and candy, and all kind of things that you know are not going to help you in your diet and your health. Because those things are there, are you going to let those things get into your system? If that is what happens, the reality is that you were not determined to have a good diet. Simple. The same thing is with your positive attitude, with your decisions here to be optimistic and to be positive today. Because you're going to find people around you that not necessarily will agree. You will find problems in your daily life. I know that when we find complaints here, there, that could be a problem and that could put you down. I understand that. But even then, it's entirely up to you. How are you going to handle it? If you want to have a positive attitude, if you want to be positive, if you want to be optimistic, it's entirely up to you. Like with your diet. When somebody is determined to keep certain diet because of health, let me tell you something. If it's matter of that of life, that person will stick with the diet. Imagine someone who has problems with alcohol. Imagine someone who has problems with drugs. Imagine someone who has problems with smoking. Imagine somebody who has problems with anger. Imagine somebody who has problems with pornography. Imagine somebody who has problems with envy. Or somebody who has serious issues seeing himself poorly. Whatever is the case, when the problem is there, it's inside of you. And it's entirely up to you how you're going to handle it. But if you make a decision and you think to yourself and you say to yourself, this is something that I'm not going to afford. This is something that I'm going to combat. This is something that I'm going to fight. This is something that I'm going to conquer. This is something that I'm going to overcome. It's entirely here, in your mind and in your heart. You know, a few days ago I had a personal problem that affected my health. It was a big mistake. And I got sick. And still you can hear my voice is not good. And I got sick, and I am feeling terrible, and something happened to me last night, exactly. At 3 a.m. in the morning, I woke up, and I felt terrible. And then I remembered, here in my mind, because it was planted in my heart, that my mom told me one day that if a person who is sick eats, will get better. At 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm not kidding, I am feeling terrible, but I am here in my mind and in my heart, believing that I'm going to be okay. I got up, went to the bathroom, and then went to the kitchen, and I put the food in the microwave, that it was already cooked, and I had a plate of a delicious meal, 3:20 in the morning. I ate, and while I was eating, giving thanks to God, believing that I will be better, that I will feel better, even with fever and coughing and feeling terrible, I believed, and I was praying and say, Lord, help me to get better. I'm not totally better yet, but I'm getting there. And you know, this is just a simple example of how God can give us the victory when we are trusting in Him, but also when we have here in the mind, in our hearts, the desire to move forward and don't give up. And that's my message for you today again. To be positive requires more than a desire, requires your determination. And the Lord Jesus said, if you have faith as little as a little seed of mustard, you will move mountains from one point to the other. Faith is incredible. Faith is the difference between the person who is sick and gets better, the person who is poor and gets rich, the person who is sad and gets happy. Faith is the key. Faith in the Lord Jesus. The faith that only the Lord Jesus can give us. Keep hoping. Keep trusting in the Lord. Don't give up. He is with you. And He is going to give you the victory for His glory. Okay, my friends, that's my message for you today. Shine for the glory of the Lord Jesus. Ciao.